Welcome. Sideline Podcast. Jamming there, man.
Yeah, I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that intro track personally. I don't know who created it, but absolute genius.
Hopefully this isn't the Snap Crackle Pop episode, but hopefully we've got
Brought to you by Rice Krispies.
brought to you by Rice Krispies. I've got Safari and Google Chrome war going on in my computer right now, so that is what we're trying to figure out. But how's your Saturday going? College football, nice little slate back for you after we talked about some depressed states last week. But how you doing today?
Yeah, doing well. It's been good to have football on the tube all day. Obviously, not all games have been competitive, but just having college football on there, and man, we'll get into it. But home games for the college football playoff, this first round, home games, it's the best thing the committee has done. So, How about your Saturday?
It's been good. It's been, go Birds. But touch and go there. Did you watch any of that game or not? Not so much.
I just saw. College football was on, so no. But I did see a little clip from Adam Schefter of
melee.
Brawl.
Oh
so,
yeah. Mikey Sanistril, who's like 5'11", 185 pounds, soaking wet, decided to go after Tyler Steen. He actually ripped his helmet off. Tyler Steen is our right guard, probably 330 pounds. Was not the move. The funny thing is, Sanistril, I think is his name. He didn't even get a penalty on the play, but he's the one who ripped the helmet off and was like definitely provoking the fight. You love the NFC East pettiness, or at least I do. So
that's like he's like the Jake Paul of the Eagles, just like going up against guys that are way too big for him.
Over under on Jake Paul rabbit trails tonight on the podcast. Let's set it at 2.5.
Okay.
2.5.
Okay. We're at 1. We count that last one.
We'll count that as 1. We'll see if Alo or Tyler takes us down that rabbit hole tonight. So anyway, welcome to the Sideline Podcast. My name is Kevin Showalter. That is Jared Booker. We're coming at you with episode 64. If you love football, talking sports, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Drop us a comment on X if you're watching on there. And we're here every Saturday, 6 p.m. And the only Saturday we will not be here next week, we have a little recap show. So we won't be live, but we're putting together a little montage of some of our best and worst stuff from the year. So check that out next week at 6 p.m. We won't be live, but it'll be fun to look back at all the new friends we've made over the last year. And just as we were working through the tape, there were some real stinker takes and some real awesome ones. So
probably mostly by me, the stinker.
It was a even. There was equal opportunities of that, but it was fun to look back on the past year. So tonight we've got the couple TSP walk-ons, one from JMU, which it is the timing. We were hopefully that game was going to be a little more competitive. It's already not looking good for the Dukes. But our JMU walk-on showed up, so we appreciate that. We've got some storylines in college football. And then we will break down round 2 and finish up the show talking a little NFL. So without further ado, let's get into our 2 walk-ons for this.
James Madison is really good in the run game on offense. They're a bit lacking in the pass game. Oregon's defense is incredibly stout. Going on, guys? My prediction for the James Madison Oregon game comes down to a few things. James Madison is really good in the run game on offense. They're a bit lacking in the pass game. Oregon's defense is incredibly stout, especially in the secondary. So they're going to run man this entire game. They're going to stack the box, make it really difficult for James Madison to run the football. So they're going to have to pass it. And those corners out there, Brennan Finney, we also got Dylan Thieneman. Those guys are extremely, extremely good. It's going to be really difficult for James Madison to move the football. I think our offense is going to be able to move the ball. It's going to get really dangerous really quick for JMU. I have 35-7 at halftime and then coast throughout the second half, make it a 48-16 ball game at the end. Pack your bags. We're heading to Miami to take on Texas Tech and the Red Raiders. Also, shout out to Book with that Alabama call. I also called Alabama to win that game. I think they were deserving. A lot of people didn't. That was a great call by Booker. And I hope you guys have a great day of watching college football.
is officially game day for JMU at Oregon. And I think if JMU wants to pull off the upset, they're going to need to stick to their game plan, run the football, and tune out the noise at Autzen Stadium. But on the Oregon side of the football, they need to dominate the line of scrimmage and oppose what JMU is going to try to do, which is run the football with Wayne Knight, run the football with Jordan Fuller, and try to use Alonzo's legs. And Oregon's going to need to feed off of the energy of Autzen Stadium. They haven't played in 3 weeks, so we'll see if they come out flat or if they don't. But with that being said, I think the Dukes are going to pull off the upset 31-24, and all the haters will be silenced. Go Dukes.
Man,
that upset prediction is freezing cold.
Well, I am with JMU though. I'm with our walk-ons. I picked the Dukes to pull up the upset as well. So I'm with you guys. I thought it was going to be a much closer game as well. So you're not alone.
Yeah, Duff. This was going to be a real sad episode if Texas A&M lost and the Eagles lost. It probably would have been just you here solo, Booker. But why don't we start there? I mean, that's the obvious spot. Texas A&M, Miami. That's a storyline we can touch on. So, any thoughts on that, Duffy or Booker? Real snooze fest. I told my son we could watch the whole fourth quarter. Turn it on, it's 3-3, and I was like, "What on earth is going on here?" I get good defenses, but come on, give us something. But what are your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I think it kind of matched up that way. I think Miami's offense has been somewhat anemic all year. I think they both have elite defenses, and the A&M offense goes with Marcel Reed, which was not good today, so it wasn't good. But the game is what the game was, but more than anything, I think the frustrating part is Colin Klein, A&M's OC, kind of working 2 jobs the last couple of weeks. He took the K-State head coaching job. So you always in the back of your head wonder how much of his effort really went into prepping and getting ready for Miami. But it is what it is. I'm sure they'll bounce back. Hit the portal. Got to fill some holes on the offensive line because that whole O-line will get gutted out.
Yeah.
But,
it was disappointing. I really did think A&M was the better team coming in. And I mean, I posted something on our Twitter page or X page, who's going to get the most turnovers? Is it Marcel Reed or is it Carson Beck? And Marcel Reed, I believe, had 2 interceptions and a fumble in that game. And you just can't do that. And then a missed field goal in the beginning. Luckily, they were able to keep it close because Miami had 3 field goal misses of their own. But that Malachi Toney touchdown towards the end there was just a dagger. And then the interception in the end zone, man. They were moving the ball. They were moving the ball with like 2 minutes to go, looking like the Texas A&M we know and love, man. So just a disappointing way for it to end in College Station. So,
yeah, Mark Fletcher, he looked like the who's the guy on NFL Channel? Kyle Brent. His angry runs. I don't know if he does a college version of the angry runs, but that's what Mark Fletcher looked like today in that fourth quarter. I mean, he was refusing to go down. So you hate to see that if you're cheering for him. You mentioned transfer portal. This is a storyline I want to talk about. It's been, I mean, I think we all agree we've got to get this figured out, both on the coaches. I mean, when they fire people in the NFL, there's not this mad dash to, hey, you have to get in there. You have to get in the recruits. I mean, these coaches are taking jobs immediately, and then you get this split, hey, do I coach in the playoffs? Do I not? Do I got to start recruiting? Do I not? It's a mess. But let's talk a little bit of some big name quarterbacks in the portal. We've got Josh Hoover, right?
Yep.
Bo Priola, DJ Lagway. Where do you think those guys signed? 2 starters in the SEC. I think Josh Hoover might be headed to the SEC. But any early thoughts on which team should sign some real quality quarterbacks available?
Go ahead, Duffy. You lead this one, baby. I'm thinking.
I haven't really come up with a spot for Hoover yet. I think Prabula isn't going to have a ton of options. Maybe the new Pac-12. That goes into effect next year, right? I think. So maybe out there. I think Lagway will probably end up staying in the SEC. And I think my spot for Lagway would probably be South Carolina. I think Sellers is either in the portal or will be in the portal.
I thought he was coming back. I thought he was coming back for one more year.
Maybe I missed something.
I might have missed it too.
I might have missed something. But, yeah, so if Sellers stays, then that wouldn't be my spot. But I think Lagway's a really good player.
Yeah.
And I would like to see it work out for him. He's from around here. But hopefully, I think he could eventually be a really good player in the SEC. I think he needs the right coaching staff around him too. He hasn't been given much help at Florida so far. So
Yeah, the Perdula leaving Missouri is interesting. Like they looked good earlier in the year when he was healthy. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a money grab, but I'm sure it's his agent saying, "Hey, you can get some more dollars if you enter the portal." I kind of like the idea of him returning home to Penn State just because, hey, we're gonna need a quarterback. He was good this year. New coach. Let's bring Bo Perdula back to Penn State, and then I'd be curious if like a DJ Lagway that Missouri, then that opens up a job. Could that be a fit for him? A little less pressure. Booker and I talked about his stats in high school, which doesn't always translate, but he put up video game numbers in Florida when he was a starting quarterback. I think in all 4 years. So
I believe
certainly be interesting.
I believe Willis, which is right outside of Houston, actually. I think they play like 3A here, which is solid football, but it's not. The stats are going to be ballooned when you've got a guy like Lagway.
Yeah. What do you guys think about one of those players ending up at Vanderbilt with Pavia taking off and Clark Lee just putting Vanderbilt on the map? What are your thoughts on a fit for one of those three guys in Vanderbilt?
No, I could see that. Especially with, they signed that 5-star kid, or do they want to go to a freshman next year? But again, you sign that 5-star kid, you bring in a portal quarterback. Does he then dip out and go somewhere else? It's the Wild West. So, but yeah, Vandy would be a good spot for these guys. Or
maybe LSU. Nussmeier he's gone and Kiffin's there. So maybe that's the exciting place to go try to get a natty. Oklahoma. Pardon?
I said especially for Lagway. LSU,
especially for Lagway.
Kiffin was all over him in high school. He really wanted him at Ole Miss, so could end up there.
Yeah, I think that would make sense. What do you guys think about, speaking of storylines, and I'm just going to post this on X right now because I would like to welcome anyone listening to engage in this conversation. The G5, group of 5, do they belong in the college football playoff? I've been going back and forth. Okay, let me finish, Kevin.
Sorry. Sorry, man.
I've been going back and forth with people on X all day about this. They expanded the playoff to 12 teams to accommodate this. Should they have expanded at all, or should they have stuck with the 4-team format? Or do we just want to keep expanding it until it's okay to have a group of 5 team in there?
Go ahead, Duffy. I answered.
I might be like the biggest purist in the world on this. I hate that it's 12. I think if you want a really good playoff product, it should probably be 8. But I think going past 4 took away from the regular season product a little bit. Like I would have loved. I know this sounds weird, but I would have loved if A&M was just playing in like a big bowl game rather than playing in a first-round playoff game. They still have a chance to win a national championship, I guess. But I think for the sport, it's better to be at 4 or 2 than it is to be this big. And I absolutely do not think that the G5 should even be in the 12 team.
Yeah.
My son was explaining, the cupcakes these teams play at the beginning of the year to, the warm-up games, the preseason. And I was like, yeah, Tulane was Ole Miss's cupcake at the beginning of the season. Like, what are they doing in the playoff? Like, and yes, for the current structure, put one of them in there. But I think they chickened out in putting 2 in, so they didn't have to pick between a Texas and a Notre Dame. Or I was driving the Vandy train, but they didn't want to pick between those 2 schools and tick somebody off. So they're like, you know what? If we put James Madison in, they're gonna be like, all right, they put 2 G5 schools in. It just, I don't even care on the number. I'm just like, give me the best. I don't want to see a preseason type of game in what you're calling the playoff, and you're saying, hey, all 12 of these teams, all 8 of these teams can compete. Don't be putting. It was a cool story when Boise State beat, was it Oklahoma a couple, like 10
that was a long time ago. Yeah.
10, 15 years ago. But that was in a bowl game. That wasn't for like a national championship. And so I just think, get out of here, man. They don't belong. With all respect to those kids, they can fight for some other bowl game or title. Let them fight it out somewhere else. But it just, yeah.
Let me read something to you before we move on. So I posted this yesterday, and I quoted, if Tulane and JMU get blown out, the G5 shouldn't be allowed back into the playoff. Me being a little sarcastic. 2023, Georgia beats TCU 65-7. 2019 Peach Bowl, LSU beats Oklahoma 63-28. Clemson over Ohio State 31-0 in the Fiesta Bowl. And there's two others on there. Alabama over Michigan State 38-0 and Oregon over Florida State 59-20. All of these are playoff games and they are absolute blowouts. So like where does that end? Like I understand not wanting to just throw people in there so that we can feel good about it. But like blowouts happen against these elite teams. The best team will rise to the top. I just don't see a reason why we should cut them out completely. I do agree with Duff though. 8 team, that just seems like the right number. I don't foresee them cutting it back now. They've opened Pandora's box, but they should have just gone from 4 to 8 and slowly like worked it up. But maybe they're just trying to avoid a lawsuit or something again, these G5 teams, but
yeah.
All right, I'll swing it over to Oklahoma as a program right now. I think Venables has one more year to really figure it out. Like especially if you gauge the fan base, I think like on Twitter today, I hadn't thought about it this way, but a lot of people were saying if this was not the 12 team, if this was 2 years ago, we're extremely disappointed with the year. We finished number 8 and play maybe a New Year's Six bowl and finish out there, and it has not been good for Venables up until getting there. So I was just kind of wondering what you all thought, how warm that seat is going to get next year if they don't really compete for a national title next year.
I think it is hot, and it's only going to get hotter if they don't compete for a national title next year. I think he's gone. Truthfully, like there are coaches that are defensive minded and offensive minded, and then there's head coaches that are good at like managing an entire program in all aspects of that. Venables is a defensive mind. That like Oklahoma's defense has shined all year. He's a defensive coach, so you throw him on another team with a great head coach as the defensive coordinator, and you've got a fairly unstoppable unit. I just don't know that he is head coach material.
Yeah, you about took the argument out of my mind here, Booker. But yeah, since him and Dabo split from Clemson, it feels like both of them, haven't been as good as they were together. And part of my retort to all of those early blowouts in the college football playoff, those Alabama and Clemson teams were clearly the best teams in college football those years. So is there more parity? I don't know, and I don't want to go backwards on these arguments. But yeah, I just think it is connected to a Venables where it's like, man, you were so good with Dabo, and Clemson's taken a step back. I just think with Clemson and Oklahoma, it's like, where do they go for quarterback next year? Like bringing in Mateer. I heard in that Miami Texas A&M game that they had the guy in his 7th season of college football, like he was one of the rare COVID players still hanging around, but like Mateer's gone, right? He doesn't have any years left.
No, he's got one more.
Does he have one more year? Okay, yeah. So then I would say it's warm. It is warming. They're bringing it to a boil. That fan base seems like they have pretty high expectations, if I'm gauging that correctly.
I think they do, but I don't think they're not the Philadelphia Eagles or I even like LSU. They expect high quality, but I don't know. It seems like they're willing to put up with a little bit more to trust the process a little bit. But yeah, we'll see what happens next year. I think Mateer coming back, if he can stay healthy. Did you see the way he was spinning it yesterday? Like with a healthy hand. The man is an animal, and eventually Alabama's defense figured out how to contain him. But when he is healthy, he's good. He is great.
Yeah.
One thing I want to bring up. Let me bring this up. So I fully think, this is just my opinion, and you can agree or disagree, but I think that Ole Miss is better off with Pete Golding than they ever were with Lane Kiffin. And let me explain a little bit of why I think that. So I'm a bit old school. I believe that team unity and cohesion within a locker room is extremely important. And so Lane Kiffin is the flashy head coach. He's great in the transfer portal. He loves to, throw the ball all over the place. He just, but for the most part, the attention is on Lane Kiffin. When he was at Ole Miss, it was actually Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. I heard a little thing today on ESPN that Lane Kiffin would always be at the front of the line when the players were walking into the stadium. Today, Pete Golden was at the back, and he says it's about the players. That is the type of coach that I'd personally rather play for. And I think that attracts hardworking elite players. And so I think he can coach. They obviously showed that today. I know it was just Tulane, but I actually think that Ole Miss is much better off with Pete Golding long-term, who's committed to Ole Miss, than they ever were with Lane Kiffin. What do you boys think?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Cignetti has proven that if you're a good coach, you should be able to take an SEC program, any SEC program, and bring in recruits and transfer portals and get the most out of them if you are a good coach. And so you can be like Lane Kiffin and dodge and weave and hey, I need to go to a bigger program. But I think Ole Miss is a good enough program in the SEC where they should be able to compete for national championships and make the playoffs and do those things consistently. So, yeah, I think – and even that market, it seems like having more of a good old boy coach is like, is a good fit for them. So is he officially the hire or is he still interim? Yep. He is.
Nope.
Okay.
He's the hire. He's got a contract, multi-year contract. So
right on.
And he doesn't want to be anywhere else, and that matters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would definitely say they're better off, especially for finishing out this year with Pete than Lane. I think Lane is an unbelievable CEO. So, and we haven't seen Pete Golding get into that yet. So
you just love Lane Kiffin, don't you, Duffy?
I really
he really does. He really does.
As much as everyone else hates him, I like him.
Yeah.
But I think the potential is definitely there. The only thing that I would say about what Kevin said with them being a perennial contender is the money is not entirely there compared to the rest of the SEC. They're in the top half, but they're not at the top. But you can get around that. I mean, look at Indiana, look at Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
You can still really compete. It's just I don't know if they'll ever get to a point of Ohio State, places like that.
Yeah.
Just
tell the soccer team and the volleyball teams, like, sorry, budget cuts. We gotta get a couple more people in the transfer portal, man.
The only other sport they care about there is baseball. So if you can just focus all your money on football and fully funding a college baseball team with everything is like $5 million all in. So they take that and then just put everything else in football, they'll be all right.
Yeah. I will say I saw a little backstage pass. One of the reporters for ESPN was walking through the player tunnel, and you see Florida, you see LSU, Texas A&M. They've got lights and TVs and smoke. They're walking through, and it's just like scaffolding in Ole Miss, and like there's guys back there like fixing plumbing, and so the money is not there like it is at these other programs. But I don't know. I believe in the heart of the money. It's not all about money. I know that there's a lot of people that disagree with me about that, but I believe it's about a lot more than just money. If you get the right people in the right places on that team. So,
yeah.
Can I bring up one more? I just have one more question for you boys.
Yeah.
So we're going back to the group of 5. I want to know, and I'll ask it just straight plain across the board. Do you think that Oregon and Ole Miss have the upper hand in round 2 because they played a round 1 game, but they played a round 1 game against a group of 5 team where they were able to just play all the way through? You've got teams in the second round with buys that they sat and watched on their couch like we did today. How much of an advantage is it for these guys who play the group of 5 over someone who, we won a number 1 seed or whatever, and we don't have to play in week 1?
I think it is an advantage, and I think it's a structure issue with the timeline of the playoff and the conference championship games, and I honestly don't know how you fix it. Because I think at this point the bye is a little bit of a disadvantage depending on who you would match up with in that first round. But I have no solution on how you fix that unless you get rid of conference title games, which they're not going to do. So,
they're not going to do this idea. I was going to bring it up in our reactions and predictions, but should the second round teams get the home games, like if you are the number 1, 2, 3, 4 team in the country, if that bye is at some sort of disadvantage because, hey, you have to wait so long to play, should those teams get the home game. The problem I ran into then, they could move the bowl games up, like, hey, these first round games are the Rose Bowl, the Orange Bowl. But I think the NCAA loves the Rose Bowl being played on New Year's, like the tradition of that. But I think if you want this to be competitive, then you say, hey, Indiana, you earn the right to host a home playoff game similar to the NFL. But like Duffy said, the structure of it is not impossible to figure out. But until there's a commissioner, I don't see them figuring it out. It's just going to continue to be a mess. So I think it depends on the team, but I lean more staying on a consistent schedule of playing with 18 to 22-year-olds is probably – better, but certain teams are just, like a Kirby Smart. I mean, they're still probably just doing Bloody Mondays every week, and they do not care, So I think Georgia's going to be just fine. A team like Indiana or Ohio State, do they have a little bit of a letdown? Texas Tech, who's not been there before, do they have a little bit of a letdown? I could see that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is, again, where I think the expanding also created just a scheduling problem, even with the transfer portal and everything. And then I just think – they need a commissioner at some point. There needs to be a person that really signs off on all these decisions. And if we're going to get a commissioner, let's go Josh Pate. I don't know if y'all watch Josh Pate that much.
Oh, yeah.
Pate State. You want to – oh, go ahead.
I was just saying he seems like a good option.
Yeah. You want to piss everybody off? Give the home games to group of 5 teams. And I digress.
All right. If we don't have any storylines, let's move along here. So we have – this is not updated in real time because, it's not. But we can use your imaginations on where these teams are playing. So we've got Alabama playing Indiana. Oregon is likely going to play Texas Tech unless there's some miraculous comeback. Ole Miss versus Georgia. Texas A&M versus Ohio State. So let's kind of go game by game. We're going to react to Alabama, Oklahoma, and then we'll sort of make our predictions for not even next week. See, I want to say next week, but it's not actually next week. So, let's dive into this. So, Alabama, Oklahoma. My question for you guys is, coming out of this game, isn't Alabama, can they crack that big three of Indiana, Ohio State, Georgia? Seem to be the best 3 teams in the country. Does Alabama, I mean, they've had Georgia's number at times. Do you think they can compete truly with one of those top 3 teams, or how does it shake out for them?
We got several comments here. We got Bama, Ohio State, Oregon, Georgia in the final. I like that. I think the answer is no. Alabama has all the pieces except the main piece, and that main piece is a running game. Ryan Grubb came from Seattle. When you look at the Seattle Seahawks, they were unable to run the ball. Ryan Grubb leaves. The Seattle Seahawks are now in the lead in the NFC West. He goes to Alabama. Where does Alabama suffer? In the run game. So without a run game, if you can't be balanced and you're just leaning on Ty Simpson to beat those elite teams, I just don't see it happening. If they could figure out the run game and become more balanced, I could see it happening. But no, the answer is no from me. That's a no for me, dog.
Which the cover's not even bare there. I mean, they have so many talented runners in Alabama. That's how can you not figure that out? But thoughts, Duffy? Is Alabama legit?
I mean, I think in a vacuum, maybe they're gonna have to win a turnover battle by a 2 or 3. I think, but I just think that's a really tough matchup. I think they match up better against Georgia than Ohio State or Indiana. So I think they didn't want them to play Georgia again in the second round. So I just think they kind of got the short in there.
To fit Alabama, that whole squad inside a vacuum, that would have to be a giant vacuum, Duffy.
Yeah, it would be a big vacuum. Even Proctor would take up a pretty solid amount of that vacuum.
Yeah, I think so.
I will say they have a favorable draw, like the Indiana-Alabama winner. I think most people will have them favored or picking to win against a Texas Tech or an Oregon on a neutral field. But I think it's interesting. Booker, your tweet the other day, or it might have been yesterday, was it Ryan Williams is just missing, or is like kind of milk jug or something like that? And it just hilarious stuff, because what happened to him, man? He is just. Do you have any insight? What happened to Ryan Williams? And just the
expectations, man. I think the NCAA has turned into a league of freshmen. If you're a freshman, you're gonna people are just rolling the dice with freshmen. And so Latsier Brooks, I call him Naughty Lottie. That man is a freshman, absolute stud. Malachi Toney for Miami, absolute stud. And they're just throwing the ball. Like Ryan Williams is not the same Ryan Williams as his freshman year. And I think to a degree it's because he had so much success in his freshman year. It would be, I think, unwise to think a drop-off was not coming after last year.
Yeah, I hear you on that, but I mean, so I guess you're chalking up to like double coverage. Teams are guarding him more, and so then the freshman is eating. Because we just talked about Alabama not being able to run the ball. You'd think if they're throwing it 35, 40 times a game, I mean, he's having 0 catches, 1 catch, 2. Like, I'm not even saying, hey, have an elite game. Just, like, show up. He's out there for doing 60 minutes of cardio. Like, I just don't get it. I don't get. I mean, it's Cam Coleman. We can blame it to poor coaching and quarterback play, but somebody like Ryan Williams, when you have a Heisman contender quarterback, I don't understand the drop off, man, to the levels that it's been.
What do you think, Duff?
Yeah, I don't know how much of Alabama y'all have watched this year. It's there. He's open. He's had so many drops this year, and not even just big plays, but even short stuff right in front or right behind the line of scrimmage. It's just not there. It could be a focus issue. Could be what Booker said, just all in his head. But I don't know.
I mean, you lose the confidence of your quarterback. Like Ty Simpson's probably not going to come out and say, "Hey, I'm not going to throw you the ball," but hey, these other guys are making those catches. I'm gonna look their way. I think that's human nature at times. Sorry, Book, I interrupted you there.
No, you're good. I don't mean to knock on Texas A&M, but I heard something today during the game that really like had my antenna going up. Talking about the kickers for Texas A&M, Mike Elko, basically, like both kickers have struggled. Bond last year was an absolute stud. This year he's been missing. Mike Elko has basically come out and said, depending on what mood, I'm paraphrasing a little bit, depending on what mood or headspace they're in, that's the kicker I'm going to go with. Like confidence is such a big piece of this game, especially with these young men. So if they get on a streak of drops or missed kicks, I think it's hard to come back from that as a young man, especially with all the distractions. Ryan Williams is still raking it in. You know, he's had a bad year, but I think it's just really difficult to overcome those things when confidence is lacking.
Yeah. So who are we taking? You guys liking Bama? You liking Indiana? Neutral site?
I'm taking Indiana. I think after beating Ohio State, I know that I think Alabama's going to put up a good fight after coming back in that fashion against Oklahoma. I think they're going to be coming in hot, but I just think Indiana is the real deal. But I think it's a bit of a trap game for Indiana. You know, Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman, a week off. It's going to be hard to come in there and beat Alabama on a neutral site. But what do you think, Duff?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Indiana on this one. Like I said, I don't think the matchup is good, and I can't stomach picking Alabama on this one.
Yeah, Indiana's defense is. I questioned it going into that Ohio State game of like, okay, did they play a real tough schedule? But they've got a really good defense, and I think that's going to translate in this game, especially if they're going to be one-sided. They can just pin their ears back and get after Ty Simpson. That could be an issue. So yeah, give me Indiana as well on that one. All right, let's move along here. So, I mean, there's not going to be much to recap in this JMU versus Oregon game. I think let's just move right to predicting this one next week. We've got Texas Tech, Oregon. Is this one? The Cotton Bowl is going to be Ohio State and Miami. So, not sure where this one is played, but who we taking? Texas Tech, Oregon. Who you liking in this one? How do you think this one shakes out?
I'm sorry, Duff. I'm going to pick Oregon here. The way they're rolling, again, I'm going with they're able to play this week and they're beating the wheels off JMU. Dan Lanning is a psychological assassin, and Oregon's going to come looking to knock some heads off. And this is the first time Texas Tech has been in this position. So I think if there is going to be an upset as far as seeding goes, this is the one where Oregon beats Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'm going to go Texas Tech. I think more than anything, I think they're probably the wild card in this whole thing. Yeah. We think they're good. The best team we've seen them play is a banged up BYU twice. Yeah. So I'm gonna go Texas Tech, and I think if they play well, like if they look the part against Oregon, I think they could go deeper. Yeah. It's just we haven't really seen them play competition up to their level yet. So
yeah, I think with a freshman quarterback, I like the coaching experience of Lanning, but I think that Texas Tech defense is going to give Dante Moore some trouble. And, yeah, I think I'm going to go with Texas Tech on this one as well. I think they've shown that no matter who's playing quarterback, they can produce. They can, whether it's Morton or forgetting the backup's name, but they've both looked good. They can run the ball. They play good defense, and that pass rush is really good. I think that will translate in this game. And, yeah, I think Texas Tech. I don't know if I'll pick them against Indiana in the following round, but I think they get the dub here against Oregon. Any other thoughts on that game?
For the record, I am pulling for Texas Tech. I just think Oregon's going to be rolling after tonight. So,
yeah. All right. So this one, Texas. It was supposed to be Texas A&M versus Ohio State.
Do we even need to? Do we even need to pick this?
It was supposed to be. We kind of recapped Miami, Texas A&M a little bit because this would have been such. This is the Cotton Bowl. This would have been practically a home game for Texas A&M. It was just the story was right there, man, and we don't want to. I mean, we're still putting Band-Aids on you, so we don't want to get too far in the weeds with this one. But
this one's for you, Kev.
There we go. Appreciate you.
The Philadelphia. Thank you, Stacy.
So Miami versus Ohio State. Carson Beck, he played clean football today. Did he have any turnovers today? Interceptions or fumbles?
Wait, who? Did you say Carson Beck? Oh, yeah. No, he didn't. Do you want to know why? Because he was a non-factor in this entire game.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But honestly, that might be the way, like, against Ohio State, like, hey, play some stingy defense. And because I don't think Ohio State's defense is going to be any easier for him to throw the ball. So, yeah, they're going to need to do a heavy dose of Fletcher and run to keep Jeremiah Smith and crew off the field. But what is the path? I guess is that the path for Miami winning this game, or is it? This is probably going to be the most lopsided of the second round matchups.
There's only one way Miami rolls into there. It beats Ohio State, and that's if Ohio State gets lost onto the way to the stadium. Ohio State was watching the game today, and I'll show you exactly what they were doing.
Yeah,
truthfully, they're probably so excited to see Miami make it through Texas A&M. They were probably much more worried about a Texas A&M team than they are about a Miami team. Michael Irvin smacking a trash can with his belt. He's the hype man for Miami, but enjoy that because it's not going to last. Ohio State is licking their chops.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Ohio State. Not gonna pick Miami.
Can't do it.
And not even just today, but I mean, what was that? Towards the end of the Jimbo era, they played a home and home against Miami.
Yeah.
Win 0-2. So just tired of Miami ruining the vibes around College Station.
Yeah. And I think this was an interesting decision by the committee to not drop them further than 2. But I think they got it right. I mean, Ohio State was the number 1 team, pretty much wire to wire up until that championship game. So, yeah, I think Ohio State rolls in this one. And,
Carson Beck threw 103 yards today. So Ohio State, what they're doing right now is they're in their group room, their team room, and they're saying, okay, let's stop Mark Fletcher and make Carson Beck beat us. So you know what Carson Beck's going to do? He's going to throw six interceptions is what he's going to do.
Yeah, likely. All right, last second round / first round matchup. Again, we sort of talked about Tulane, Ole Miss again. Why are they scheduling a preseason game in the college football playoff? We don't know. We get a nice little slugfest here in the second round. SEC matchups. I should have looked it up on my notes if these teams played this year. I want to say they probably did. But, this should be a good game because it's 2 SEC schools. We talked about having a new coach. John Bliss looks good. Ole Miss has got some talent. Do they have enough talent to dethrone, or not even dethrone, but to knock off Georgia here in the second round? I'll start us with this one. I think the answer is no. I think Kirby's going to have those boys rolling, like we talked about the Bloody Mondays. I think Kirby's hungry to get back to, hey, we are still that good of a program. Y'all just forgot about us. So I think Georgia could be a sleeper for the not even a sleeper, but of that big 3 or 4, I think they probably have a really good shot at winning it this year.
They really
Duffy,
are.
are you taking this one?
Sorry. Go ahead, Duffy.
I'm going to go Ole Miss.
There we go.
I know everyone says it's a lot of controversy and it's a lot to put stress on a locker room with Lane and everything, but maybe it brought some juice. The game they played was tight. It was a good game. I think it was in Athens, not Oxford, and it came down to the wire. And I keep saying it, and it hasn't worked out for me yet, but it's hard to beat the same team 2 or 3 times, which this will be twice. But I'm going to go Ole Miss. I think they've got a good shot, and got to be different every once in a while. I picked everything else straight up. So
yeah. I like that. I'm gonna be pulling for Ole Miss because I really do like Pete Golding and what he's been able to do there in such a short time. I do think Georgia takes it though. They are the complete team. They've got like a three-headed monster in the backfield. Their defense is maybe not as elite as it has been, but they are definitely serviceable. Georgia did beat, as Duffy said, Ole Miss 43-35, but it did come down to the wire. That was a heavyweight slugfest. It's going to be hard to beat Ole Miss twice in the same season, but I do think that they do it. But if Ole Miss pulls it out, I'm going to be a pretty happy camper.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I'll be all right if Georgia wins this one. So there we go. Let's go Hoosiers. Come on, guys. We all went to Indiana to go and do it. So
we do want Indiana to go and do it. That's right. What we want.
That's right. There we go. It would be a cool story. It would definitely be a cool story for college football this year. So were they ranked to start the year? That'd be a fun fact trivia pull. I want to say they were, because it was like, I know Syracuse was ranked like 11, and I feel like they might have been like 12, and there was like, why on earth is Syracuse ranked ahead? Was it Syracuse?
They were ranked 20. They were ranked 20 at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
No. Sorry. Indiana was ranked 20 at the beginning of the year.
Okay. So they were ranked, and that's a whole other, maybe that's a good off-season topic of why do we have preseason rankings that affect these things. So anyway, Duffy, as always, appreciate you coming on the show, spitting some college football. Go ahead and pour out a drink for Texas A&M, and the cupboard's not bare there. You guys will be back. You got a good coach. You'll rise again. So
appreciate y'all having me, fellas.
Appreciate you, brother.
Anytime.
All right,
man. Duffy's just a good guy.
Yeah, tough loss, man. Tough loss.
We got another one here. Let's all just take a little moment of silence for JMU. I'm really disappointed, man. I know that when I picked them, I had a few pretty nasty comments like, hey, being a fun team doesn't mean you can beat the Oregon Ducks. And that's absolutely correct. One of my main points for JMU to win is that they were a fun team. And I mean that. They are a fun team, but not the same caliber.
My argument was, who did Oregon actually play this year? Like, their toughest game was Indiana, and they lost. And so Penn State, it was a big win on the road, but anyway, we got to keep it moving here. But yeah, college football is awesome. This is the best time of year for college and NFL. I can't wait to talk about some NFL stuff. So without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in Alo. What's up, man?
What's up, guys? How's it going?
Fresh cut there, Alo. Looking good.
Yeah, I got a fresh cut. Thanks, man. Nice. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Nice. You enjoying some football today? I almost said just college. We had some NFL action. We got the Bears and the Packers on right now, and I can't wait to watch into that game here after the show.
It was tough because Jordan Love went down with the concussion with the nasty, dirty hit. Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
So he's out for the game, I'm pretty sure.
Not great.
That kind of seems to happen when those two come together.
Yeah.
Yep. Hey, if they haven't ripped a helmet off yet, then they got nothing on the NFC East, okay? So and the AFC North. So these rivalries, somebody's got to. All right, let's. I don't have the stats from the A team last week. Any hunch on how the guys do last week? Let me see what was our players. We had Shador and Fannin. I think the Browns kind of had a down week, but Diggs and Robinson probably did all right for us.
They did okay.
Yeah. All right, so who do you got Bills for us?
All right, so at number 5, this is really because of injury, so the backfield is kind of down for the Cardinals. So Michael Carter is expected to be running back 1. He'll be running back 1 for the Cardinals. The other backs, like I said, are injured. This gives him an opportunity to get a lot of touches. Also, with that being said, they play the Falcons, who rank 18 against the run. So I expect Carter to have a big game. He could be like a big league winner for everybody that's in their playoffs. I know it's like probably semifinals for a lot of 12 teams right now. So number 4, I have Dalton Schultz. He's actually ranked tight end 9 right now. So he's a top 10 tight end this year. He has a favorable matchup. He's playing the Raiders. And CJ Stroud is playing better as well. He's been more consistent. And Nico Collins is a big target for CJ, but I think Dalton Schultz is as well. So look for him to feed in the middle of the field. What do you think of those two, Booker?
Well, I love the Dalton Schultz pick. Personally, I would be playing anyone who is playing against the Las Vegas Raiders. As far as Michael Carter goes, yeah, he's been on the field 80% of snaps. He's a great PPR option because he's been used as a receiver as well. So I like that. I like that pick as well. Nice work.
Yeah. And then for number 3, I think Brock Purdy has bounced back. I think he's looked better. I know he had the toe turf. He looks like a top 10 quarterback again. So with number 3 being said, I think it's Jawan Jennings. He's automatically wide receiver 1 now. Kittle is going to get a lot of the attention. So I see Kittle eating, especially against the Saints. I mean, they rank 29th against wide receivers. Look for him to be a key part in the 49ers win and a big league winner this week, which is really important. Like I said before, it's fantasy football playoffs. And then number 2, Bo Nix has been more consistent, but honestly, the whole time, Cortland Sutton has been productive. I mean, he gets his targets for the most part. He has a favorable matchup against the Jags, who rank 20 against wide receivers. And anytime Bo Nix plays like not the best defense, he does do pretty well. And honestly, the Jaguars defense is mid. Look for Sutton to continue producing, and he could be a potential big league winner for a lot of teams out there that have him. So make sure you start him. And then at number 1, old grandpa Kirk Cousins. He plays the Cardinals. It's a good matchup, which Kirk is coming off a strong game. And he will most likely have all his weapons available. This is a key part. Drake London is mostly returning. I believe the Falcons actually beat the Cardinals because Kirk has his best game of the season, and he distributes the ball well, and it allows the offense to flow. I think he gets it to Pitts. I think he gets it to Mooney, and I think he gets it to Drake London. And most importantly, Bijan runs it at the end. So I look for Kirk having his best game of the year. So what do you think of those 3, Kevin?
Yeah, I like those 3. Jawan Jennings is always – they're solid, man. Jawan Jennings is always tricky. I do those like sit-start questions on Sunday mornings, and people always asking about him because he's got like 2 or 3 40-point nuclear weeks in his arsenal, but every other week is not so great. And I don't know, but he's just I always have a tough time reading like how good is he going to be. But then someone like Cortland Sutton, it's like, why? This isn't a shot at you, but it's like when people ask, hey, should I start Cortland Sutton? I'm like, yeah, absolutely, start Cortland Sutton. Like, even if he's had a down week, like you got to trust your studs, especially in money time. And then money time, I mean, Kirk Cousins looking for a new contract. I mean, that doesn't get much more than much more safe than that. So I heard something this week of, is it the Falcons are considering starting Kirk next year or something if Penix isn't back? So I thought that was interesting. I'm like, what does that mean about Penix? And I thought that was very interesting where I thought both sides had kind of like, all right, this is the end of a failed experiment, but interesting stuff there for sure.
I think it just for Penix, it just sucks because when he was in there, for the most part, he was productive, but the problem is he's had like 4 knee surgeries. It's like, it's kind of tough at that point.
Yeah, absolutely. All righty, let's go ahead and jump into our NFL stuff. I think Tyler's here, maybe. He's nearby. I don't know if he'll.
There we go. Sorry, I forgot to turn it back on.
There we go. All right.
But I'm here.
Gang's
made
all
it.
here. So I didn't get our standings updated from last week, but I'm going to go ahead and say we all went 6-0, right?
I think we did.
There we go. That's what we got. So let's start out here. We've got the Bills and the Browns, and this has just been an interesting year for both of these teams. In Cleveland, Shador's kind of looked up and down. I believe he's starting in this game. What stood out to me was Buffalo at a 10.5 line on the road against a good defense. Something is, as Tyler likes to say, something seems up with that. But Tyler, why don't you get us started and see who you taking, Buffalo or Cleveland in this game, 10.5?
The line threw me off as well. I mean, I get it. Buffalo is in that race still. They're looking for a playoff push, trying to get hot at the right time. But then the Browns still have such good defense. I think a little bit of the shine came off Sanders, and so maybe that's why they're spreading it out so far. But I still just don't trust it with how stingy that defense is and how the Bills have been up and down. I hate to do it to you, Booker, but yeah, give me the Browns to cover in this one. Bills definitely get the win, though.
Okay, good.
Halo, who you like in this one?
Yeah, I love the Browns defense. I hope Myles Garrett gets the sack leading for all time in a season. I'm sorry, but I'm taking the Bills. Josh Allen, just got off of beating Drake May, which was a big MVP contender. So, I mean, they beat a very good team, and the Browns are not a good team. So I don't see the Bills defense struggling against the Browns offense. And I see Josh Allen running all over them and throwing all over them with no problem, to be honest. So give me the Bills.
Booker showed up ready for this pick right here.
Yeah.
But who are you taking? Or give us your reason why you're taking the Bills.
I'm just really confused, guys. I don't know what to do here. The Bills are just a superior team all around. The Browns are struggling offensively. The Buffalo Bills are also healthier overall because compared to the Browns O-line is pretty beat up. I know that line is pretty insane, but the Buffalo Bills are in prime time right now. They're making their push. They're going to keep their foot on the gas all the way through. And so if they have to blow them out by 40 points, they're going to do it if they can. So give me the Bills.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills as well. It's a huge number, but I think the Bills are just they're peaking at the right time, and if not this year, then when. The AFC looks gettable, and I think this could be the Bills' year to get to the Super Bowl and go on a run here. And I'd hate to see Buffalo as a wild card team against a division winner like the Jags or somebody like that. So yeah, give me the Bills in this game. Let's just throw this up here again. Our show is brought to you by Rice Krispie Treats tonight.
Curtis
Snap,
Knight.
crackle, and pop. My apologies on any of the crackling in the audio. We'll get that fixed by next week. I will say it's probably been worse at some point. So this is better, Curtis, than it has been. No, we're fighting between Safari and Google Chrome camera audio. We'll get it figured out. So, all right. In this one, Alo, why don't you kick us off on this one? Alo, who are you taking?
Oh, my fault. I couldn't hear you. It was
it cut out there right after we made that comment about it's been worse. Everything cut out. So that's kind of par for the course for us.
Tell me the teams again, because once you said it didn't even. Yeah. I couldn't even hear who you said.
I got you. We've got Buccaneers versus Panthers. In Carolina, Bucs are favored by 3. Who are we taking?
This one's tough because the Bucs are banged up. I just don't. Honestly, I don't trust Bryce Young. I really don't. Yeah, he'll win some games. Like he'll beat the Packers and the Rams, and then go off and lose to teams he shouldn't be losing to. So yeah, give me the Bucs. I think Baker Mayfield's just the overall better quarterback. I think he leads the Bucs to a win, and I think they win by I'm gonna say it's a close game, but I say he pulls it off by 4 points or more. So give me the Bucs.
Booker, who are you taking?
I'm going to be a bit of a wild man here. Give me Carolina. Tampa's defense seems to be collapsing. Panthers are running the ball well, and against the spread, they actually have the better record. And so, give me the Panthers here.
No. Panthers. You're taking the Panthers. I'm going to take the Bucks, but this one has me nervous. I feel like the Buccaneers should be a better team on their record. They've been just decimated with injuries all year. I think they're getting healthy-ish at the right time, but I'm hoping there's enough runway left in the season to maybe make a run. If not, I mean, again, this is for the reward of winning this game means you get the Rams or the Seahawks in the first round. So, it might be a better thing to get the head start on Cancun this year. So, but give me the Bucks this week. Tyler, who are you taking?
I think the Bucks get the win, but I do think the Panthers find a way to keep it close. These games, it'll probably get a little bit murky there in the trenches, and I just think it ends up being pretty close. But the Bucks still pull it out. They're still sneaking out wins. It'll just probably be less than a field goal.
Yeah. And if a helmet's not taken off, then does this game actually count? So, all right. Next up, we have Jaguars and Broncos. My question for you guys, Jaguars, Broncos, is it me? And I know, thanks Crew Talk for reposting this stream. If you guys are listening, is it just me, or does it seem like Broncos have had like 15 home games this year? Like every week we come on here and say, yeah, Broncos at home yet again. I feel like they've played so many home games this year. But who we liking this week? This is a big game, fighting with the New England for first place in the AFC. Who do we think wins this week? Booker, why don't you take it?
Well, I'm going to go ahead and Jacksonville is scorching hot right now. So I know that the Denver Broncos are a much better team than they've been for the past few years here, and Bo Nix has them humming. But the Jaguars are doing work, and it's possible that I'm reading something here that the Broncos elite pass rush, but it's possible that they rest some of their defenders. I don't know if that's actually accurate or not, but I'm reading that here. And the Jags are better against the spread. So give me the Jags here, especially with the way T-Law's been performing.
Tyler?
This might be just the desperation pick in me for my beloved Colts, just needing some type of lifeline to keep that prayer alive with Grandpa Phil. But give me the Broncos in this one. As much as I've taken my swings at them and tried to pick against them, they just continue to get it done. So I'm gonna switch up, and I'm gonna say the Broncos get the win here and cover.
Alo?
Yeah, I don't trust T-Loss, and especially against probably the number one. We could go with them, Seahawks or the Texans, or even the Rams, but I would say the Broncos have the number one defense in the league, and I don't see T-Law doing work against him. He did have a great game last week, but it's different. The defense is different on the Broncos. Bo Nix has been playing better too. I think having Harvey, it's sad that Dobbins went down, but Harvey's electric, so it gives them a spark. So yeah, give me the Broncos, because the Jaguars defense is not good either. That's the problem too.
Yeah.
And Moo Breezy also confirms that the Broncos are gonna take this one. So shout out to Moo Breezy.
And my thought with the Broncos and the Patriots this year, they're on these ridiculous win streaks in the NFL. At what point do they have a little bit of, or do they just keep winning? I mean, it's gonna be tricky. It's crazy. We're gonna get to Baltimore being favored over the Patriots, but that's kind of crazy. I'm curious if this could be a slip up for Broncos. It does say 60 degrees in Mile High on Sunday. That's kind of interesting. It's gonna be nice and
beautiful.
Comfortable. Nice and comfortable for the Jaguars. If this was like a snow game, I'd be like, all right, give me Denver all day. I think Denver wins, but I'm going to go with sort of what Tyler said on that last game. I think Jaguars keep it close. They can run the ball a little bit better this year. I think they keep it close and lose by less than 3.5 points in this game. So, all right, let's move along here. We have Steelers versus Lions. Both of these teams are fighting for their playoff lives and a division title. Kind of crazy that the Lions are favored by 7 points when it seems like Pittsburgh's a good team. I mean, I feel like we've all kind of gone up and down on Aaron Rodgers, Pittsburgh, like who are the real Pittsburgh Steelers, but 7 points feels like a lot for a Pittsburgh Steelers team that typically will play teams close. So I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. I'll start us. I think they keep it closer than 7. and I could even see them, running into Detroit. Aaron Rodgers, the old NFC North. I think this is the type of game he gets up for. He really wants to show out on. So give me the Steelers to cover the 7 and probably sneak out a little win here. So Booker, what do you think?
Give me the Lions. It looks like TJ Watt, he suffered from a partially collapsed lung or a collapsed lung. So I think the Lions bounce back. I know they've had some tough games here where they've not been able to pull out the win, but Pittsburgh has been getting hot. I just can't put my money on them. So give me the Lions at that spread.
Yeah. Tyler, who are you liking?
Yeah, I'm with Booker on this one. I think the Lions come out with wanting to show something, just shut down Rodgers. It's not like they forgot about him. And it's been a few years, but the Lions haven't forgot who he is and what he did in that division for so long. So I think they would love to be one of the nails in the coffin, and I think they come out here to blow the doors off the Steelers, and they do it.
Yeah, interesting. Alo?
Yeah, I'm with Booker and Tyler on this one as well. I think the Lions offense is just too good. And the Steelers, like Booker made a good point. TJ Watt's out with the lung issue. So, yeah, I got the Lions winning by comfortably just because with St. Brown, I think this other week now, he had like 41 points in fantasy last week. He went ham, but now I feel like his ankle's better. So I got the Lions.
Yeah. No, absolutely. All right, let's move along here. So Sunday night football, we have Patriots, Ravens, Baltimore favored by 3 at home, but it's crazy. When you see an 11-3 Patriots team, 6-0 on the road, but something's got to give, right? I was reading on X earlier today of like, this is a desperate game for the Ravens, But when you look at the metrics, when you look at the teams, if this was a blind resume, you would think, okay, Patriots have this all day. Vegas is saying, hey, Baltimore's favored by 3. Booker, who are you taking on this one?
Give me the Patriots. They had a tough loss against, I think maybe the best team in the NFL last week. I don't know. I'm just saying. I think they bounce back. The Ravens, with Lamar Jackson have gotten better and they're playing better, but the Patriots are just too good. Give me the Pats here.
Yeah. Tyler?
Quick little sidebar. Chicago just forced a fumble on the goal line.
Yeah, I saw that.
Bears got a chance to drive it down now. So anyways, back to what we were talking about. I'm also shocked that the Patriots aren't actually favored here. But I'm going to go back to an earlier year theory I had. I'm just going to look at the QBs here. This could be a big moment for Drake May. But I think Jackson being the elder statesman, the proven MVP winner, I think that's what they're leaning towards. And I'm going to hop on the bandwagon too and just go with the Ravens. I just think I'm going to look at the 2 QBs. I think the defenses can both give each team some trouble, but so at the end, give me Jackson over May, and they cover and win.
There you go. Alo?
Yeah, give me I'm taking the Patriots. I know they came off a tough loss last week. They were up. They should have won that game. I think Drake May and the Patriots bounce back. I think Henderson I wouldn't even put in their backup anymore. He's proven that he's RB1. He's really, really good. I have the Patriots winning. Lamar, honestly, the Ravens kind of surprised me. Luckily that the Steelers, and Aaron Rodgers have been struggling too, because honestly, they shouldn't even be winning that division. They haven't, like, Lamar has kind of surprised me by not playing well. And the division is awful. So yeah, give me the Patriots. I actually think the Steelers win the division, sadly.
Yeah. I don't want to pick the Patriots. Like, I really want to believe Baltimore is going to win this game. But to me, and maybe it's because I have, I have kids and I'm outnumbered by kids most days, but this is the scene in Cars where like the Gen 2 car just is much faster. And Trevion Henderson last week on a busted play takes it for 60 yards. I'm like, and Drake May running down the field blocking for him. Like, it's sad for Baltimore because I'm like, hey, this was a year where it was ripe for the taking and they've kind of fallen apart. How many more years are they going to get out of King Henry? Are they going to have to tear it down a little bit there in Baltimore? I don't know. Yes, they have the former MVP. It's hard to bet against Lamar Jackson. He is that good. I think he's still a top 5 quarterback in the league, easy. But New England, they're just, I don't know. They're playing well on the road. The coaching, I got to take the Patriots to at least keep it close. And I just think the Patriots win this game. I think they are the Gen 2 team, and hopefully Lamar gets a ring, but I'm not so sure. So, all right, our last game. Old man Rivers, Tyler, he couldn't get it done last week. But we were cheering for him to get it done against the Seahawks. Did not work out so well. This week we've got the 49ers, San Fran favored by 5.5 on the road, Monday Night Football. Why don't you get us going, Tyler, on why old man Rivers with an extra week of practice off the high school field, why is he going to get it done this week?
Yet again, take no rational advice from what I'm about to give you. However, that being said, they did cover. They did cover that spread. So that was accurate. It was a great game plan. The thing is, I honestly think defenses aren't used to playing. I think that narrative is correct, that old man Rivers and his knowledge of the game and being able to figure out defenses and get it into the right play. Defenses aren't used to that. They're also not used to how his ball flutters in the air and takes longer to get there than normal. So that also plays directly into our hands. No, that being said, you know what? Give me the Colts again. He had 3 days to get ready with that team, and they took probably one of the best teams in the NFL down to the wire. The roster as a whole, the team as a whole, went down to the wire with the Rams, and we just saw that incredible game that happened on Thursday. So why not give them one more shot to, at the minimum, keep it close? But I'm taking them again to win. I think they're just going to sneak up on him yet again. He's going to get him in the right plays. It's not going to be anything pretty, but it's going to be enough to get the job done.
Alo?
Yeah, give me the 49ers. Sorry, Tyler. Brock Purdy's been playing well. I honestly think that Daniel Jones was a big spark. I mean, honestly, the big thing about him too is the way the team was talking about him, like Jonathan Taylor and everyone. It spoke volume to him as at least a leader. But once he went down, I think it was kind of like a blow to the whole team. Phillip Rivers, I'm glad he didn't die against the Seahawks. But now that, we know he gained like 20 pounds. I get it. He was in retirement, enjoying his life. But, give me the 49ers. I think CMC and Purdy, I think CMC runs all over them, and I think CMC has Purdy has a good game too. So
the 5.5. I don't remember do you remember what that spread was last week, Tyler, against the Seahawks? Was it more than 5.5?
13.5.
13.5. Okay, that's a big
13.5. Yeah, I mean, it's come down quite a bit.
Oh man. See, my thought is that they ran the ball 30 times last week if you count the 1 for 0 from Phillip Rivers. And I agree with you. People complaining about his arm strength, where he's always throwing the ball like just awkward looking throw. And I think people are quickly to say, hey, he's an old man, he can't throw. But I think it just looks weird. And people are like, oh, that's because he's old and not as strong. I think that's kind of been his shtick like his whole career, his whole Hall of Fame career, that he just reset the clock on. But give me the Colts covering this one. I'm drinking the Indiana Kool-Aid, and I think with an extra time to prepare, I want to see them run the ball a little bit more. 27 carries for Jonathan Taylor, or 25 carries for Jonathan Taylor. Like, let's push that up a little bit. Let's get 30, 32. Give a couple more dump offs to Abdullah.
Yeah.
Give me the Colts to cover this one. I got to think he's going to get at least one win in this comeback tour. The problem is your final stretch of games is brutal. So I think this one is gettable. I'm not sure if they're going to pull out the win or not, but I think they cover the 5.5. Booker, what do you think?
I made a terrible mistake last week of not only picking against the Colts, but absolutely ridiculing Phillip Rivers for his age and physical appearance. And I'm not going to make that same mistake. I think that he is a game manager, as Tyler said. The man knows the game inside and outside. He knows how to read defenses. He knows when to get rid of the ball. He's got weapons around him, not to mention JT in the back. I'm not impressed overly with San Francisco. I never really truly have been. Even when they went to the Super Bowl, I was like, this is kind of a boring team. So give me the Colts to cover. I don't know that they win, but I am going to pick the Colts to cover, even if Phillip Rivers is sitting in an office chair behind the center and taking snaps from his lazy boy.
Yeah. There we go. All righty. Well, again, this episode has been brought to you by Rice Krispies, Snap, Crackle, and Pop. Apologies, everybody, for that. Thank you for spending some time with us this evening. And, as always, so reminder for next week, we have, it'll be a little recap show. So we won't be here live, but we'll have some of our best and worst highlights of the year. And we're excited to release that. So next Saturday at 6 p.m., a little recap video. And, till next time. Peace out,
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.